Today's episode is the first in a series where we're going to help you find out if doing your own bookkeeping is right for you. It isn't right for everyone, but after listening to this series, you'll have a good idea if it's a good fit for you. Listen in and find out if you have the ability and if it's worth considering doing your own bookkeeping. You're listening to the Mastering Your Small Business Finances podcast, where we get straight to the point on topics that ultimately affect your bottom line. That's right, as an entrepreneur with a small business, money management, growth, marketing, they all affect your bottom line. I'm your host, Chris Ponick. I'm a certified public accountant, and I've been helping small business owners like you navigate and easily understand these complicated topics for over 25 years. I'm a wife, a mom, a grandmother, and a small business owner myself, so I know your time is valuable. In my free time, I make the best sugar cookies and have mastered an amazing chocolate chip cookie recipe. And that's not just my opinion. You're in the right place. I promise your time will be well spent here. Each week, you'll gain confidence and clarity while making a successful impact on your business and grow your bottom line. Get comfy, grab a cookie, and let's get straight to the point with this week's episode. Are you looking for a computerized software solution to do your bookkeeping? I highly recommend checking out QuickBooks Online. I've been using QuickBooks myself for over 20 years, and they really know how to streamline processes and make your bookkeeping and recording your transactions simple and easy. QuickBooks is one of the top software solutions used by small business owners, and I would say that over 95% of my clients are currently using QuickBooks for their businesses. One of the features most of my clients and I take advantage of is the option to set up bank feeds. You simply link your bank account to your QuickBooks account, and QuickBooks will automatically import each transaction into your QuickBooks file. You'll save a ton of time not having to manually enter each of these transactions. You simply review each of the transactions and make sure they're getting recorded to the appropriate account, and then click one button and they're in. Want to know more? Head over to financialadventure.com/QuickBooks and learn how you can save 50% off of your first 3 months. Welcome back. First, let's take a peek at the definition of bookkeeping. Bookkeeping is the process of tracking all of your business financial transactions. So why does bookkeeping matter? Well, you need that information to file your taxes at the end of the year. It lets you know where your money is coming from and where it's going to. You need financial statements if you're borrowing money or taking out a loan from a bank. And without getting too off a topic here, your financial statements are made up of your balance sheet and your profit and loss report. But we're going to dive deeper on this in the next episode. Bookkeeping also helps you catch errors by reconciling your accounts and making sure you don't have any duplicate or missing entries. A lot of times people will miss entries and catch them when they're actually doing their bank reconciliation. One thing you want to make sure is when you are reconciling your bank accounts, that every single transaction that's showing up on those bank accounts are in your bookkeeping software or wherever you're keeping track of your bookkeeping. You want to make sure you're capturing all of your income and all of your expenses. You actually may be doing parts of your bookkeeping already. You normally need to do some of your bookkeeping even if you're outsourcing your bookkeeping. You'd still need to gather all of your bank statements, your credit card statements, all of your deposit information, who you wrote your checks out to if you outsource your bookkeeping, because you need to give that information to your accountant or bookkeeper. And there may be many times that your bookkeeper or accountant will come back to you for answers on questions they have on your business transactions if they're unfamiliar with your business. Especially when they're starting out, they'll have a lot of questions as far as what each of the transactions are for. So there's a lot of times that a small business owner will spend a lot of time getting that information to their bookkeeper or their accountant so that they have that information to be able to code things correctly. And if you're spending a lot of time doing this, maybe it would be better for you to just do your own bookkeeping. You could possibly be saving money by doing your bookkeeping yourself. You should ask yourself if you care about your bookkeeping. If you don't find it interesting, you may put it off. You'll probably put it off. And you'll procrastinate and just not do it. If you don't find your bookkeeping interesting and you find yourself putting it off, you won't have timely information, which leads to decisions that you make about your business without this important data. You want to make sure that your bookkeeping is up to date. So whether it is you that takes on the bookkeeping or if you have a bookkeeper doing it for you, your ultimate goal is to have that timely data that you can rely on so you can make those smart business decisions. Doing your own bookkeeping puts you in control. You're the one that records the transactions. You're the one that can generate a financial statement when you need it. And you're the one that sees the balance in your checking account. You'll be able to be in more control of all of this because you will be able to be entering things in on your own and have all that data in real time. You become more knowledgeable about your business financials. You know exactly what your transactions are for. You don't have another person deciphering things like this out for you. You also know if there are any personal funds going in or coming out of the business. This insider information is very valuable. You don't want these amounts accidentally recorded as income or expenses. So if you happen to need some extra funds in your business and you decide to put a $5,000 deposit into your business from your personal funds, that would not be considered revenue. And we would want to make sure that that wouldn't be coded as revenue because then you would be taxed on it. Instead, you want to make sure that you're coding things correctly if you're putting personal funds in or taking personal funds out of your business. You want to find out if it makes sense financially. What's the cost if you outsource your bookkeeping? Get a quote and then find out how much it will cost you to purchase an accounting software if you decide to go that route. Make sure you consider what the value of your time is as well. And we'll be covering that in an episode in the future as well. Lastly, make sure you have a tax preparer. You can count on your tax preparer to go over transactions prior to filing your tax return as a way to double check your work. This will help put you at ease knowing that your tax return is filed correctly and you can start the next year on the right foot. The benefit with this is if there are some changes that you need to make in your bookkeeping system, you'll know those transactions then, and going forward you'll be able to do those correctly rather than continuously making the same errors again. So it's nice to have everything all wrapped up when you do your tax return and make sure everything matches what you have in your bookkeeping software as well. All right, let's recap this episode. First, we wanted to make sure why bookkeeping mattered. Also, we want to make sure that you're taking into consideration the parts of the bookkeeping that you may be doing already. You could possibly be saving money by doing your bookkeeping yourself. You want to make sure that you care about your bookkeeping so you don't put it off. Doing your own bookkeeping helps put you in control. Also, you become more knowledgeable about your business financials, and you will want to find out if it makes sense financially. If you're starting to consider doing your own bookkeeping, grab our free guide on the 5 essential strategies for stress-free bookkeeping. Go to financialadventure.com/5essentials to get your copy. That's the number 5 essentials, ESSENTIALS. Also, what's at least one thing you will take away from this episode that will help your business succeed and grow your bottom line? Do you need to be held accountable? Join our private Facebook group and post your action item. We'd love to support you. Thanks for taking the time to tune into this episode of Mastering Your Small Business Finances. If you enjoyed this episode as much as I enjoyed creating it for you, I'd love for you to give it a 5-star rating and subscribe to the show so you never miss an episode. Visit financialadventure.com for the show notes, links from this episode, and while you're there, leave a comment if you have a topic you're interested in learning more about that affects your bottom line. If you're looking for a community where you can ask questions and get feedback about your small business, join my private Facebook group. You can find the links to this group and more on financialadventure.com. And remember, any financial information shared on this podcast is not to be considered professional, financial, or tax advice and should not be solely relied upon. Please consult your CPA or tax advisor for an opinion on your specific circumstances. I'm looking forward to having you tune in next time. Until then, dream big, follow your heart, and love what you do.